check these out, fellas. So this is Tony's. We're going to be doing this next. And this is one that I dug out. It's, you know, basically the same thing. And we'll get started on this in a little bit. All right, fairly simple. All these bolts, all the way around. All of these bolts, right, all the way around. Now, these are, see, these are in these nuts here. And then you got to get these are bolted in. See this flank here, that flank there. We gotta get all that off. And then if you really want to take the cover off, you got to take this off. So we might actually want to do that. So we can get in here without the cover in the way. And this is all this too, down all the way down to here, because that's your belt cover. I don't want to check the belt. And there's usually a screw hiding over here. Right, kind of flimsy, right? And they're lightweight. Right, and there you have it. And there's your little Tecumseh 2-smoker. This all looks pretty good in here. I checked on that. But now we can clean it, and we're just going to take like a few more pieces off. We want to get to the belt cover, so a couple more bolts, and that's it. Right, real simple. Just a lot of little pesky bolts. This is moving, or at least this part is moving, which is good. That's a good sign. That's why we want to get lubricant in there. Just oil, nothing else. But you know, good oil in there and get it lubed up good. They get jammed. Yeah, we're looking pretty good. And then we'll get the bottom cover off so we can get to the carburetor, right? This way we could test everything like this. Got to take the gas cap off. Somebody kind of borked the threads. So it's always nice. And then we can get to the tank and clean it. Isn't that nice? I'm going to do the other one too, because we got this one. By the way, this one, sorry for the camera jerk, but because I'm a jerk. This is Anthony's, so this is TJ's. Or Tony, and that one's mine. All right, well this is kind of the beat one. A lot of these bolts here broke. You can see this, right? It's I'm gonna be in the light, but it's still moving, but if it gets cleaned, it might work. But this thing is a little bit beat. This barrel is broken. In here, it's cracked, okay? So it's lost its integrity. Somebody tried to put this here and it's cracking here. So this is shot. But the parts might be okay. We might want to see if we can get the motor to run. Well, nothing fancy here, fellas. Just a little super clean and a quick rinse. And then we'll leave it, because it's not that bad. Yeah, just kind of letting it set up. We got the extra plastics, so whatever plastics are better, it's really the same. But I think they're actually, the plastics are in good shape. Except for this one here, which you can't see. That's a little chewed up over there. But it's not terrible. But Tony's is, TJ's is much better. So that's just sitting with a little bit of super clean. Just gonna leave it for a little bit. I'll come back. Super clean. Get yours now. Everything looks really good. He took out most of the fuel, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna pull this out here, put a little bit of my magic soy sauce on that, also on these pins too, in these clamps here. We're gonna pull this out and replace it and dump whatever's in there out. And I can see up here, it looks a little crappy. So we may want to replace this hose. I see it's a little crappy up in there. I'll show you in a bit. So while we're doing that, then we're going to pull this off. Now, I want to show you, see the arrangement here, right? Be careful with that spring. See the way it sets up on this bracket? And then we'll just pull all that off. And then you got your primer hose here. So you want to use some release agent. What I'm using is, I call it soy sauce, magic sauce. It's just transmission fluid and gas, 50-50. But you can, anything with like a penetrant lube that you can use to kind of loosen things up. You want to be able to get these hoses off without damaging them if at all possible. It's real clean. Here's the jet. Right, looks pretty good. Okay, that's the emulsion tube in there. It looks like there might be something in it. When we try and get it out, you can go in through usually the choke side, and you just have to carefully pry up on that little blue tube. Let me see if I can get it. I'll try and set a camera up. We'll see something. Choke open. It should be, and we'll put a little bit of our tranny sauce in there, just to give it some lubricant. Try to go this way. If not, maybe we'll go through the other way. Is this screw in the way? I think I got it. Yeah, I got it. It pushed it up. Let me see what else I can do to grab that. Just going to try and take this pick and kind of go up into here. Just see if I can nudge it. It's hard to see in there. You got to feel your way. Yeah, I can't really see it. Yeah, there we go. Let's try to, there we go. See, it's pushing up. Let's try to push it up. See if we can grab it with something. We can push it a little bit more. It's in good shape. When they fight you, there's this screw here. There's this little screw in the way. I'll go from the other side. Yeah, I think. There we go. And now we can pick underneath it. Okay. Now we can grab it. And it should come with a washer. No, the washer did. The O-ring did not come with it. We'll have to go in there and get that. One way I found to get it is you take one of your brushes, a small one, and just stick it in there. Let's try the smallest one, which is getting beat now, but there we go. See, we got it. Right there. It's in good shape. All right, now all I got to do now, fellas, we don't need to do anything else. Right? We're not going to take this little spring off. Don't do that. You don't need it. So all we need to do now, let's move this out of here. You don't want to get any gum out on these, if you can help it. So we'll just poke through that and we'll wash it with some of this or two-stroke. But in here, just briefly, and then just kind of go in here and just give it a brush. It's probably nothing in there, but there might be a little bit, and we'll blow with compressed air. About 14 pounds, 20 pounds of compressed air. And then you want to get up underneath this. That's a baffle. It doesn't really need to be clean. Get into that, this is the blow gun area, right, where the little primer bulb goes. Any orifice you see at this point. That's about it, right? So we got that. Here's our other. That's a vent, which is just this little vent here is just open to weather. So, all right, she's clean. A little bit through that. Yeah, there was a little something in there, or it came from the outside. We're going to clean out those hoses and we're going to replace at least one of them. I think we're good. All right, let me go blow with, like I said, about a very light. You can even use the air duster, air. Let me go do that and I'll be back. But before we do that, I just wanted to show you. So if there's anything here, yeah, there's no really any kind of fine holes or anything. It's just these, it's just this hole here. Okay. So now we can also blow that. And I'm just going to clean this. We're going to clean around here. This is the gasket. It looks like it's in pretty good shape. So what we'll do with this, get some of my tranny sauce on it. And then one of the ways I like to even just, this is like a test too, is you take a piece of Scotch-Brite and just pull this through, and I'll give it a wash. Yeah, that's in good shape. And then we're going to lay some, this tranny stuff will, see a little bit of junk coming off of it. That's what we're looking for. I'm going to wipe it with a paper towel, I think. No, it's okay. There we go. We got it all. That's in great shape. Drain sauce, you know, think about what's inside a transmission, right? And then this guy, let's just get our gasket off. Might have been a little dirt on that. Just roll through our fingers. Make sure it's clean. And let's take the smallest one of these. And there's one here, hold on. Now these are your Tecumseh keepers, right? This is a Tecumseh style needle. And there's a tiny little hole on the end here, fellas. And I'm not going to take the one off of the carburetor, but I save extra. See how it goes in there? All right, we clean that out. That's got to be clean. And then if you can get one down in here, sometimes I have to put a little drill bit in there. I can get a little bit in there. Yeah, we can get that. And if it's real small, see, you can poke it through. This you can clean with gum out and blow with the air. This one's in really nice shape. Let me blow my Scotch-Brite and just run it right around the gasket surface. Which is a nice shape. All right, I think that's it, fellas. Now I'll go blow it out. And the other thing too is you can take a wire brush if you see a lot of dirt around here. If your carburetor is rebuildable, this one is. Okay, so we'll be back in a minute. All right, let's take a little bit of this stuff and just push that back down. Notice that that's back on, right? Push that down in there. I got something to push that with. Hold on. This is actually the Tecumseh tool. It's Tecumseh part number 670377. And they make a couple of different variations of this. So we're going to push that back down in there. Make sure it's seated. Looks like that O-ring is just popping up a little bit. Push that O-ring back down. Yeah, that O-ring just kind of popped up a little bit. And we should be able to see it through here. Yep, went in all the way. Now we can put this back. Hopefully we don't have to do any tweaking to any of this. We shouldn't have to. There's like no hours on this. This fits nice. Yeah, that fits real good. Like I said, it blew it out with light air. You can use like an air duster for like your computer. That works really well. Now, this area here is the fulcrum. So the flat here goes back there. And you want to make sure that it goes down nice. Okay. The gasket looks like it's okay. We'll turn around the other way. A little bit more juice on it. And we'll go put it back. Everything looks good here, fellas. Don't over tighten. That's why I'm using 1/4 inch drive. Put a little bit of this on that little felt there as well. Make sure everything works good. Okay, all right, let's go put it back. Trim off the excess, put a new clamp on. Right? These clamps suck. That one broke. New filter. This one over here broke. Want to make sure that your throttle is moving. Probably can't see it, but exercise your throttle. Make sure it's going. Be careful when you take that little rod off. Let me turn the light on. I'll show you. There's your throttle rod back in there. Make sure that's working good. So when you go to take that off, it's just a Z-bend. But don't let it spring or snap because it'll fall into here. And then you'll have to take all this off, which isn't the end of the world, but you don't want to do that. So just take a deep breath and take some pictures, fellas, you know, whenever you're not sure. So we're all good here. We're going to just look for a couple of spots. Let's go take a look at the plug. We'll get the plug cleaned up. But, you know, put a little oil on these and some chain wax. A little chain wax on this. Put a little chain wax down into here. Okay. We got to put this guy back. This is your blower. Make sure that, press it a bunch of times. Make sure this is good. They can be replaced. You can get them on Amazon. Make sure that's all clean. We'll shove that into up here. And if you want, you could put a touch of oil on that pulley. Get a little chain wax in this thing here. All right, this is your actuator. I'll show you in a minute. Not bad. All right, we'll give that a clean, and we'll put some no-sees on it too, and we'll gap it. I'll show you in a minute. That's clean, and a little bit of no-sees on it. Gap to 30. This is a gasket plug, so when you go to tighten it, it's going to feel like it's stripping, but it's not. Just make sure it's tight. Keep going. Go slow. Take a deep breath. All right, we're golden. A little chain wax in there. You can also put, there is a silicone. It's a dielectric. It's for electrical. That's the best stuff to use, but chain wax works fine. And here, a little bit of oil as you move this forward. All right, I used a screwdriver and kind of pulled it. Oil and just a touch of chain wax. Don't use anything other than that. And I used very little chain wax, really. You want oil. Even if the chain wax by itself would be a problem because it would be too sticky. Remember, this is cold weather operation. So we got a little oil there, a little oil in there, a little oil and chain wax in there, also down there. Here, let me show you. Okay? Oh, that works nice, fellas. Now, in this area here, we can also finish up with a little bit of white grease in a spray. So I'll do that. And those are just the pivots. A touch of oil on that bearing there. Again, I'm going to put a little chain wax in this. Okay. Make sure that's good to go. I think we hit just about everything. If I see anything else, I mean, you could put a little chain wax, or I want to say, look, this gack in there. White grease, you know, here. Is there anything over here? Can we get something in that bearing on the corner? Yeah, I think if you want, you can spray it into the corner here. See? It's a plastic bushing, little chain wax and or white grease. Right up in here. You should be able to see that. I know it's black, but that would work good too. And then also a little bit on this side as well. Yeah, we'll tilt it up. I'll show you. And then again, we'll get some white grease or something on that and some chain wax. See, this is getting dry. I don't know if this had any white grease on it or if it maybe is just oxidation. Put some chain wax on that and maybe even a little white grease. Push it on and off a few times and knock off the junk. So I started off with a little oil, a little chain wax, and a little white grease. I should have showed it to you first. It was a little bit grovelly, but it's nice now. This is in really good shape. All right, let's give it a test. Let's put some fuel in it. Let's turn it on. A few primes. We got it set to choke down here. Let's press the button. Uh-oh. There we go. There's a lot of junk coming out. It must have got flooded, fellas. Let's turn the choke off. Uh-oh, something wrong in there. I think there's something wrong with this starter. We have another one, but yeah, something going wrong. That gear might be shitting up. I let it sit for a little bit. Let's just turn it on. It's cooler, and give it a pull. Yeah, she's running real good, fellas. Let's bring it in and finish it up. Sorry, heat's blowing, fellas. It's getting cold. All right, last look. Now, one more thing. See this? Yeah, let me show you. All right, there's nothing on the end of the carburetor. All right, let me go look at the older one. See, look, they put this stupid cup on, and if you look from the top, it's a little dark in here. All the crap went right in there. Probably can't see it. I don't know why they... Yeah, look, you can see it a little bit. See all that crap in there? I want to see if I can start this thing. That's for another day. By the way, if he needs another one of these, because look, this one's got like a I don't know what you call that. It's not plastic, like a bronze or something. I don't know. We gotta lubricate a little bit more, but this is a better, older one. So if something happens, I guess some cranking his. I mean, I didn't crank it, but you could see. I think it was smoking a little bit. Oh, that could have just been spraying the oil out and everything, the water that got in it. But his is gonna wear. But it pulls real easy. His pulls real easy, fellas. I pulled it, fellas. You guys pulling it?
You really think you can go all day long? You always left me satisfied and smiling, so.
Yeah, when I pulled it to start it, oh, it was sweet, nice and easy. I almost hit myself in the face.
That's what she said.
It's so easy. I was expecting to like pull a little harder. All right, anyway, let me shut up. Let me get the plastics back on. All right, so you put the bottom on first, these screws, and then leave them loose, and then put these bottom ones on. See, down here. Probably these two, but yeah, probably these two, but we'll get those in a bit. And then just make sure this overlaps this piece of plastic, so it should be all metal here. I just took this off and re-screwed it, and it was a little cocked. Because this gets hot, and it'll melt all of this, and it also deflects the boogers that come out of here, so it doesn't get all over the pulley and the belt. So make sure that's installed right. Now we can put the top on. All right, a couple last minute things. All right, we got this. This is my cutter. You guys are familiar with those. That's just an air-powered one. So these are rounded off, but this one I had to cut a slot in because I can't adjust it. This one, you just adjust till there's a bit of friction. And then this one here, you want to be able to adjust it because you might want to hold it in one particular position. And they get locked on there because, you know, that's why I cut the slots in them. There's no way to grab that. So what we'll do over here is I'm just going to take this apart, put a little no-sees on that, and then tighten it up, and just check this one here. This could be a little bit tighter, right? Because you want to be able to have a bit of friction on it when you go to move it. Not so much that you break it because it's plastic. And then put a little lubricant up in the hinge here. All right, almost done. And we're going to do these too. We're going to put a little lubricant on that as well so that they can come apart. And I think we're done, fellas. All right, fellas. This is what I would call a survivor. All right, what do you guys think? I think it looks pretty good. All right, just before I turn it, just give you a look at it. I'll roll some B-roll over this too. Does it look good? It's all nice and clean. I would call it a survivor. All right, something like this. This is one of the ones that didn't get abused, didn't get overused. Whether it got neglected or whatever, well, neglect comes in two forms. One is neglect where if you don't have a lot of winter or whatever, like we have here occasionally, you've used it. It was really dirty when it got put away, but it was stored mostly inside, so it was out of the elements. And that's like characteristic of any survivor, is that it gets used to a point, maybe it stops running, but it's not abused, and it's not neglected, or as it's abandoned outside, like a lot of the stuff that I have out there in the garden. Go get yourself some silicone or PAM or whatever. Dress the whole thing down with some silicone. Spray it in here, right? You guys may know. PAM, silicone. Just hose the whole thing down. Get yours running real good. Get it sweet like this. Get it all cleaned up. Get it ready to be put into service. And
coat it all down, and then put it to the side. If it don't snow a lot or you don't use it, you're good to go. Dump the fuel out of it, run it until she's dry. Suck the fuel out of it. Get something to suck the fuel out of it if you don't want to dump it or you can't get it all out. Run it till she's dry at the end of the year. It'll be all clean and ready to go. And if you have to use it, or you decide you want to use it, maybe you got another machine as well. Like I said, before you go outside, put some PAM or more silicone on it. It'll have a couple of coats. It'll have the protectile coat, and it'll have the coat, the sacrificial coat that when you bring it outside to go and use it. These things are capable, but they reach their limits quick. And I think with the extra bit of coating and everything in there, it's going to help you out. Thanks for watching this episode. Big shout out to TJ again for the swag. And this is belongs to his brother, so we want to get this over to him ASAP. So I kind of moved this one up ahead a little bit in on the shot list, stuff to do. We'll see you guys on the next episode.